Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Rat's Nest Book Club. I am the Rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. I'm joined as always by Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Hello, everyone.
Bleach, Arrancar, episode 4.
Not three. Is it?
4.
I think this is like.
It's
Oh, this
4.
is Aaron.
It is
Okay,
4.
Aaron
It is
Carr
4.
episode. Okay.
Yeah,
I think it meant
Arrancar,
overall.
episode 4. So,
Dang.
with this,
Arrancar's long.
we're over the hump, right?
Yeah, the chapters
seven
were.
Arrancars?
Yeah, we read chapters 287 through 315. So we did it. We read over 300 chapters of Bleach. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yay! We're almost halfway through it.
Almost.
Because
By the
Bleach
next
itself
section
is like
here.
789 or something.
The next section, according to my notes, is a bit shorter, which I think is nice considering like how long the other stuff's been. Because the next one covers 316 through 340. And that section is called Decisive Battle of Karakura, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about versus Shikigami.
There is a couple of fights in this little section.
There's quite a bit to talk about. To give. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh, I just said that there is. It was just a
Oh.
colorful color commentary.
Yeah, I'll give a quick overview of what there is, and then we can, we'll go straight into it, because we got the continuation of the last time with Ichigo fighting Rim Job, and then we have Noitoro show up, and then all that stuff happens. And then from there, we get the continuation of the Oporo fight, and then we get some interesting new characters that pop up. Not new characters, but characters we haven't seen in a while pop up, and then we get some dynamic shifts in the fights. So, shall we just get into it?
I believe we shall. You are leading the discussion.
Yeah, so apologies if it takes a moment. I wrote a lot of notes here, so I'm just gonna double check where I'm at. So, yeah, like I said, we have the continuation of Noitoro fighting against Ichigo, and then we have more of the Oporo stuff. We see Noitoro reveal his rank finally as number 5, where he sticks his tongue out, and then Ryu and Renji and I think it's Dondo who's with them, like one of the people with Nell. Like they're still putting up with more of Oporo's gimmicks, and we'll get to that later. There's quite a lot to say. There's quite a lot I want to say about Oporo's fight, but I feel
thought
like
it was
it'd be best to
interesting
save
when we
that for
figured
the
out
end.
Noitoro's number 5, because I was like, this guy could be number 1. I have no clue who number 1 is. I was like, this guy could be number 1 potentially, but I don't even know if we'll see Ichigo / main cast fight number 1. I think number 1 might be attacking with the other guys in the Karakura town against those guys.
I think they are.
But we'll get there. That's at the end.
Yeah, there's not too much that happens at this moment. Well, nothing with Noitoro stuff. It's just he fights, he attacks them. Tesla, the guy that's there, restrains Orihime, and then as they're trying to escape Oporo's room, they just loop back around because he shifts the corridor. And then Oporo says, "Watch this." And in my notes, I put, and I quote, "Oporo throws his sword, inflates, then transforms."
Hell yeah.
So we see him, like the other Arrancars, deciding, okay, it's time to go Joker mode, where he just transforms, and he has another new gimmick, where this allows him to clone everyone he's fighting. But in turn, the restriction on his room is gone. So now they can fight at full power, but the clones can too. So it's an interesting gimmick, having to fight off the clones of each of the characters. I also,
it's a cool little gimmick for him. It's his cool little gimmick, right? Each Arrancar has one gimmick, and that's his. So it's a neat little one for his little fight.
Yeah, each Arrancar has one singular gimmick. Yes. Only one.
Else that really happens in his fight.
Nothing else. So let me read through more of my notes here. Noitoro starts lecturing Orihime about what fair battle. I like that because we, as you guys may not know, definitely not know. Brandon and I, we watched through Baki recently, and I kind of like its commentary on like what makes a fight versus a battle. And so I like Noitoro's little speech there to Orihime. Orihime's like, "You're attacking Ichigo while he's down." And he's like, "Who the fuck cares? This is a full-fledged battle. Who cares about fairness?"
Yeah, like I'm going to kill him. You're gonna watch, lol.
Yeah.
Idiot.
No, like there's nothing fair about warfare. That's basically what he tries to explain. And I mean, it again adds more to Noitoro's character. That's a little bit. And it's just a good section because I like the mentality of like what makes a fight versus a battle. It's
Yeah.
interesting that he differentiates that. And then, as they're fighting off the clones, we see Dondo explain Nell should not go any deeper into Las Noches because it's revealed that Nell is a former Arrancar. What did you think when you first read that?
I knew it. That's the thing that I knew. Remember me
Oh,
telling you that there's something I knew. I knew that
I
Nell was an
didn't know
Aaron
that.
car because
I
being around the anime community for as long as I have, like I had seen pictures of adult Nell, and like parts from the Bleach anime with adult Nell, and like I remembered her because she's hot. And then so like going into Bleach, like her and Orihime were the two females that I knew, and the moment I saw that child, I was like, I know, I just know. I will say I didn't know that she was the number 3, but I knew she was
that
a former Aaron car.
that was pretty impressive. Like just to have that happen. Uh, can we also agree now? Noitro is on fraud watch this entire time.
Oh, absolutely, he's on Fraud Watch.
Because think about it. He, after Ichigo and Rimjob fight each other, starts fighting, like beating up both of them. Rimjow's, sorry, yeah, that was a hybrid of the two. Rimjob is a lower number. Ichigo's been wounded after battle. They can't get healed because they've been restrained. He's basically just bullying weak people. And then, it's revealed we see Nell, cracked her head, lost her memories, and all that. Then she gets back to her human-like form, Nelliel, and then starts. We see Nelliel fight Neutra, and she's ranked number 3, and she puts him on Fraud Watch.
He is absolutely on Fraud Watch.
Like Brandon, my jaw, the floor, intimate meeting when I saw like when she just went human mode and was like, I'm number 3. I was like, oh my god, like that's a powerful ally to have.
I was very impressed at the number 3. Like that,
Like,
because knowing that she was an Aaron car, I was like, okay. I was just
yeah, like
kind of
what
waiting
number is
for
she?
it, and then it happened. I was like, okay, she's hot. She's
I
kind of bad
figured
though.
that I figured it would have been a lower number to be like, okay, this is her fight, right? This would be her fight's lower number. No, she was just number 3 and was like, I'm
I thought she was
stronger
going to
than
be
you.
like Don Dory and stuff in like the hundreds.
Yeah, and we see Nell and Noitra talk for a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, your number's outdated." Clearly not. I also like their relationship where he's like, because we see it later. I'm not gonna make too much reference to it, but they have history with each other, and he's like, every time he kills someone, she's like, "Why do you do that?" She's basically the not intrusive thoughts, but like extrusive thoughts, like the moral rightness of like, "Why are you doing this?" Like questioning everything he does, and then he's like, "Why are you following me around?" And she's like, "Cause you're weak." And he doesn't like that. What was the one moment where he's like, "I don't like the thought of a woman being stronger than me," and I just started
Hell
laughing.
yeah.
I was like, "Base Noitera."
Hell
But
yeah.
no,
Dude,
but
Neutra is
no.
literally me? No way.
Now, I will say, unlike other anime, I appreciate that, like, most general anime, I appreciate Kubo letting his female characters actually do stuff from time to time.
Uh-huh.
Having
Occasionally.
having like actual really cool female characters. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like Rangiku and Orihime and Nell. They're pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. And then after this, they start their fight, and then in the middle of that, Yuryu figures out how to spot all their clones, and then Renji, like these are some of the moments I appreciate. I want to beat this allegation. Not everything has to be like JoJo IQ level tactics to be interesting. Um, get a load of this guy. If a fight's not interesting, he doesn't like it.
That's so true. One of my
That's,
famous lines.
yeah, that's tangential, but anyway. So Renji is a simple tactic. He uses his Bankai. His clones copy his Bankai, and they become like they just make so large weapons that it just blows up the room they're fighting in. That was like that. That was pretty smart on his part for
Uh-huh.
not for being such a not bright character. And then Poro gets his one and only gimmick again. Only one.
Only one gimmick. All the Aaron cars.
He decides to make voodoo dolls of them and just start attacking them. And it's like, at this point, I think I can say that fight started to grow on me, or started to wear on me. The wear and tear was showing a bit. It felt like it had run. I mean, how long has this fight been happening?
It's been happening for a while, since like
A
halfway through the
hot
last
minute.
section. I think that there's two things that don't really help this fight. Right? One, a lot of other fights happening in between it. Like since this fight started, Ichigo versus Rim Job, the entirety has happened, all of that. And then we also have the beginning of Ichigo versus Noitra, Nell, all that. There's a lot of stuff happening in between when this fight started and now. And then also, too, the way the fight progresses to different phases makes it feel a lot longer. Like, Ichigo versus Rim Job is just in the one, like the fight itself is just in the one area, right? Ichigo versus Noitra and Nell, like that it's all in this area. Now, there's the different phases to the fight, yeah. But like Aporo and then move around, like there's 3 different settings. There's like 3 or 4 couple different phases, right? And then all the gimmicks that he has. I think that inherently the pacing of the fight did it no favors.
No, not at all. I mean, look at, with Ichigo versus Rim Job. I mean, whenever they fight, Rim Job transforms. He gets like his new gimmick or whatever. And same with Ichigo, he gets on the mask. It's simple where he goes from like his abilities, I'm not gonna say gimmicks, but his abilities before transforming and then after. And it's that simple. But it feels like with this, Poro guy, he has a multitude of gimmicks before and after. Because I thought his gimmick would have been, and like this is what it was building up to, he's weaker, so he has that room to compensate against intrude. Like, he's strong on his own. Like, he's okay on his own, but like he has the room. Kind of like the one that, minus the power scaling moment, fought Rukia and was like, it preyed on her emotionally, which is why like the fight was difficult too. I thought it would have been like that room was his gimmick. But no, he had the room, he had the clones, like just the voodoo doll stuff. I think there's like one more I'm missing, perhaps. But yeah, it felt like he had too many. Anytime
there's
he
like
was
his,
about
like, final form that he used. Like
he can eat people to heal. He had a whole bunch of that type of stuff.
And it's a shame because I really like that gimmick of like the smart guy who's like maybe not physically strong but like has his environment.
Yeah, but he planned ahead.
Like one of, if not maybe my favorite light novel fight, like in just the way that it's written and the systems and everything. I'm not going to say it, Kyle, because it is something of a spoiler. It's in Reign of the Seven Spellblades. So I'm not going to go into details about it, but there is a guy that they fight that like the strategy with him is like they have to challenge him in a certain place because if they challenge him anywhere else, he's going to win. Like they have to challenge him in a certain place at a certain time, like with a certain number of people, and even then it was really difficult. And he actually got out, and it was like, but like I really like that, where it's like, you have this guy who he has very clear weaknesses, but also he's smart enough and experienced enough to make up for those weaknesses with other things. And so then with fighting him, in Reign of the Seven Spellblades, they had the opportunity to plan out their attack, and here obviously Renji and Uryu didn't, but it's working against everything that they built up for it. It is a great thing. I mean, that is one of my favorite light novel fights of all time. It's a really good thing. So it is disappointing that they kind of dropped the ball with him.
I'm not gonna say it goes into like the quote unquote bad category, but I do think it was. I think it overstayed its welcome would be a good way to phrase it.
It's definitely not a bad fight, but it could have been better.
Because think about it. That should have been like mainly Renji's fight. Because look at the previous section. Because Renji's the first one that finds this guy, I think, where Ichigo fights Don Doherty, then Saruchi with Yuryu and Peshi. Then we had Chad's thing, which Chad is gone. I'm not even going to pretend like he's a character at this point.
It's sad. It's very sad.
This should have been Renji versus Aporo. You can come in and help him, but that's what it should have been. But it turned into, and we'll get to this later, waiting for a captain. Oh, I'm finished. Save me, Kurosuchi. I don't like how that's what it was built up to. But we'll talk more about the ending of the fight as we get to the ending, because there's a lot more to say on that, unfortunately. But yeah, the pacing of the fight wasn't doing it any services. It was not helpful. But let me get to where we are. So skipping over a couple things here. There's like some flashbacks. Like Aporo gives a dialogue on why it's okay for humans to be killed. Noitra and Nelio have a flashback on like why Nelio says like, oh, I'm not gonna kill. Only rational people have a reason to kill. You're just like a beast. You just kill because killing is whatever to you. And then we see after what him and also interestingly enough, I found it weird that not in a bad way, but weird that it was Aporo and Neutra who worked together to like do what they did to Nell.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it makes sense because it's like, funny smart guy, funny, brains in the brawn, da brains, da
Yeah.
bronze kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
it's also partially because just where they are in the story, those are the two Arrancars they're fighting. So it was
Yeah.
interesting, It shows that the Arrancar society is connected, right? I don't think that we've seen a ton of that so far. Arrancars like working together like that. Kind of saw it with
Yeah.
Rimjob a bit, but
And then we also this made me appreciate the Dondo and Pesci characters even more because like look, I'm a big fan of like side gimmick character. One Piece written all over this when I say this, like side gimmick characters who are revealed to have like just sad backstories, and they're just like they step up to bat and they do a really fucking good job with it. Because one of my favorite moments, or would have been, is when they because Dondo and Pesci they pull out what is it, a Sarah, like a blast attack. They have like they planned it out to where they had a blast attack plan, like a tag team one, where they would have just absolutely blown away Aporo. But after that happens, it's like, oh well, he anticipated a Sarah attack and he planned ahead of it ahead of time. So it was kind of underwhelming again because that's where the fight should have ended, having
yeah.
these characters who were personally affected by Aporo step up and say, okay, it's time for us to continue defending Nell. Something's happened to her. We got to find her. We can't waste time with people like you. Like just seeing these two goobers, funny word, like decimating this Arrancar would have been really cool because we know that they like were strong enough to, and that they set it up where he was Aporo being him. He was a weaker Arrancar, so I could have believed Dondo and Pesci doing it,
Especially
but
after fighting with Renji and Uryu for a while.
yeah, like weakening him. That should have been it, but Kubo really wanted to draw out this section because then what happens alongside this is and oh god, you can question me. Nell is fighting Neutra and busts out the Capricorn Night form and is about
How'd
to.
you feel about that?
What,
How'd
what,
you feel about
what,
that form?
what do you mean by that?
I mean, did it like any like? How'd you feel about it?
Brandon? Brandon, if you would just
How did the Rat's Nest resident Monster Musume fan feel about that form?
um
How did the resident Centauria fan
no
of the Rat's
no
Nest feel about that? How did the
mm,
resident Uma Musume
no no
fan
no
feel about
no
that?
not a fan, not
How did the owner of the Monster Girl
thing.
Encyclopedia
I
feel
don't
about
have a
that?
Centaur fetish. I don't. It was just a strange set of circumstances. But no, it was really
I thought
cool.
it was hot.
Is it a written rule in the Rat's Nest scripture that like in every Bleach episode you have to say something very questionable at least once?
What's questionable about it? You feel the same way. Look, if we're both in agreement, that's 100%. 100% of the people here feel that way, therefore it's completely normal.
Fine, I'll agree with you.
Me when I see a conventionally attractive woman, okay guys, be real with me.
Hear me out. Top half, I mean, like it was memeing, joking aside, cool moment. And she was about to obliterate him. Had it not been
absolutely.
for
Because she had like the double Sarah or something.
yeah, she was about to murder him, and then because the plot, like in both these fights, it felt like it was about to reach a satisfying natural conclusion, but the plot decided, and I will fault it a little bit for this, the plot decided, you guys need to wait for Goku.
I think
A little
that
bit.
with
Just a little
Neutra,
bit.
it makes sense.
With Noid, it did make
Aporo,
sense.
it is a little bit disappointing. I understand why Kubo did it, because the Kurosuchi Aporo fight was interesting, and I get what he wanted to do there.
It's interesting in the thematic.
With Neutra, I get it. Where he's like, yeah, like, look, I knew that you'd bust that out. Like that's your thing. But you don't know my thing anymore, and I know your thing. I was right. Like, I think that makes sense.
It would have made, yeah. And then after that, like, everything starts going to shit. Tesla transforms into he goes big bore mode, and he starts breaking Ichigo's bones.
Uh-huh.
base. Nell has regressed back to her to like the little midget form.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Um,
That sucks.
Boo-hoo, Wayne. So that's not going good. Aporo anticipated the Sero attack and starts like about to kill them basically. Some executioners find Chad, and then an Arrancar finds Rukia and goes to finish her off. And I put in my notes, literally everything is going horribly for our merry band of misfits.
Man, it's the end of the second act.
And then Kenpachi arrives. Oh, oof, that was cool. That was cool.
I am a big Kenpachi fan. I saw him show up and I was like, no
I
freaking
paused.
way.
Kenpachi is that guy. Kenpachi is one of the only people who could say I'm him, and it just like you can't deny it.
He is him. Objectively, he
So
is him.
to explain what happens, right? Everything's going bad for all these characters. The captains that show up, and I put in my notes, it's Kenpachi shows up to Ichigo's location and fights. Also, really quick, he just no diffs Tesla and then moves on to Noitra.
I mean, it makes
Like
sense.
Tesla goes to attack him. Noitra's like, don't do it, and then he gets decimated. That was great. So
Wallahi, he's
then
finished.
he is finished. So we have that. We have Kuro. I put in my notes. Kurosuchi. I'm a big Kurosuchi fan. I was just so off. It was just so baffling to see him there. Just be like, last time we saw you, you turned into goo and you just like you left because it was
Last time we saw
after
him, he was hot. What do you mean? We got to see his face for a panel, like his real face for a panel.
Yeah,
he was hot.
yeah, I know. And anyway, he just turned into goop and ran from Yuryu last I remember. He just after Yuryu fought him, he left, and so now he's back with his assistant again, which I think is like his daughter.
Got a new hairdo.
And he has like horns.
He's like a mane. Like
Yeah, I mean it looks like a goat.
He does kind of
almost.
Yeah, he looks like a pharaoh. Is what he looks like.
Yeah.
I prefer the hat. I
Does.
won't lie. I think that his old hat was kind of trippy.
His old hat was better. However, this one feels more thematic with him being like a devil almost.
Yeah.
Like goats. There's symbolism there. So that's the second captain that arrives. Byakuya shows up to Rukia's location because of course, and then Unohana shows up to the executioners that had to kill Chad, and they just nothing happens there. They just see her and go, okay, I guess we'll piss off, and then they leave, and then yeah, that happens. So then we get 3 fights upcoming, and we'll go through them in order. First, it's Byakuya versus Zamari, I think is his name. Then what?
I Guy versus I Guy.
Yeah, I Guy versus I Guy. Kurosuchi versus Aporo, and then we get Kenpachi versus Noitra. So before we move into those, anything else to say about like this first half of what we discussed? Because I thought overall it was pretty good with the few elements that I was kind of disappointed in.
Yeah, I mean, I thought altogether it was pretty solid. I mean, all the Noitra stuff with Nell and stuff, I mean, that was hype. It was really good. I really enjoyed all that. Maybe brought down a little bit by the pacing of Aporo's fight. I just, maybe felt like you that, it's kind of overstaying its welcome a little bit. Honestly, I enjoyed Kurosuchi versus Aporo more than basically almost anything with Renji and Uryu versus him, minus the Pesci and Dondo kind of stuff. I really enjoyed that stuff.
I'm conflicted on Kurosuchi versus him, but we'll get to that after Byakuya versus Zamari.
If you look at it by itself, I like it.
Yeah, it's the sum of its parts that I'm looking at. Like individually, it's good, but yeah, we'll get there. Because first,
but altogether,
we have
a really solid first half. I really did quite enjoy the first.
It was a good first half. It was a good first half. Yeah,
not as good as Rem Job, but few things are as good as Rem Job.
Here, where was I? So, let's see. So yeah, we have Byakuya versus the Zamari guy, and he's the Septima Spada, and he was about to finish off Rukia, and then Byakuya's like, oh, I actually care about my sister now. One of my notes said later on, he as this is near the end of the fight, but he says something about pride, and I put in parentheses, "Pride my ass, you literally forgot what you did in the Soul Society arc."
No, but dude, it was because he had to kill her because he adopted her because he married her older sister or something, and then he had to adopt her. But then he was like, "I have to kill you," and then he's like, "I'm not going to kill you."
No, just no.
I admittedly can't remember too much of the details of Byakuya's arc in Soul Society. all I know is I really liked him versus Ichigo. I
And
will say
then
since then his character has been like I haven't disliked him, but
I've
like
been neutral.
yeah, been pretty neutral since then.
Oh, actually, so before the notes of Zamari fighting him, I just put Kotosuchi and Iporo begin dick measuring
They
because
do. They absolutely do.
that's like they it's like two scientists, and they're like, I'm gonna dissect you, and I'll dissect you, and it's like there's some sexual tension even.
There
Not
absolutely
really,
is.
but like it's just funny seeing like it's a cool dynamic where you have like two scientists, a begrudgingly good guy and a bad guy, and just seeing like whose science will prevail. But moving on to the Byakuya and Zamari thing, I liked it. I mean, I'll elaborate my thoughts as you can too, but like, I wasn't too enthralled by this section. It just felt like it felt very. Zamari. I was expecting a lot more from Zamari. He looked cool. He had a drippy design at first. He had like what's it when he first started fighting Byakuya? He had like the quasi doppelganger technique or something.
Something like that.
I think is
I think that his power, like, was
the
almost too
control.
strong because he was never able to use it to the fullest. Because he said, if I look at someone's head, I can control their whole body. And so it's
Yeah,
like,
and
where's the
why
limit
don't
with
you
that?
just?
And then two, didn't he look at Byakuya's head? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what
you
I was
have
confused
that
about
many
too.
eyes. Like, there's no way Byakuya can block you that much. Why didn't you take control of him? Like, it's kind of like
I don't know.
fun from Jajolian, but at least fun is wacky in its
It's an
like
awful
overly
ability.
complicated ability and the setup required to utilize it.
Yeah, this
Because
was just like
there's no setup and it's stronger. And I mean, if you want to like, I think that him saying I can take over the head was too much. I think other than that, it's a pretty good power. Because it's like there needs to be some limit to it. I think, and there was no
you know what it
limit,
should have been.
and so he was never able to
Let's say.
maximally use it, and so it just kind of felt like, I mean, to say a little bit cheap when Byakuya beat him. This was my least favorite fight of the section. It just I didn't really care about the guy because he just kind of came out, and I was like, oh, okay, here's Byakuya's guy to beat, right? And then Byakuya
Yeah,
himself, I think that he can be a really cool character, and in my opinion, Soul Society and before, I love how he's built up as a villain. And since then, he's just been kind of neutral. I think there was potential with this fight, but I think because there was no limitations on the guy's power, that it just ultimately felt kind of cheap. But I did like how Byakuya beat him, where he's like, yeah, sure, you got like 500 eyes, something, I don't know. There's like hundreds of thousands of these petals, idiot.
that was a fun moment. But like that, I agree with you in saying there should have been a limitation, perhaps like inanimate objects or like it should have been like something that allowed him to take control of Rukia, and maybe they do a similar thing to Aporo where it's like, okay, I have speed, I have the speed advantage, and I'm not really that strong. You can kill me if you can hit me, but I don't want to fight you. I'm gonna like make him build him up to be like a strong, confident character, then show that he's like a coward almost, and have like him hide behind Rukia and be like, "You're really gonna make me fight my own like my own sister," and then just you get close and like, all right, cool. Rukia puts the sword to her neck. I don't know, you could still have moments like that, but yeah, I think no limits on the eyes. It was because that's what I thought too. Exactly what you said of shouldn't he have been able to control Byakuya. Like it was neat that Byakuya started cutting his own tendons or
Yeah,
whatever, but
like that, like
shouldn't that
that's
have just
cool. I
not
think that that's a
happened?
cool little trade off there, right?
That should have just not happened.
Yeah, I think that it was a power that could have been really really cool if done like well. But I think that it was just I need a guy to fight Byakuya for a little bit, and he needs to be pretty strong because he's an Arrancar, right?
Yeah, and
Um,
then
and
I'm trying
so
to look and
like it
see.
wasn't a bad fight. It inspired nothing in me. Other than
Not
it was
really.
funny whenever Byakuya was like, "There's hundreds of thousands of petals, you idiot."
And you can't like 50 of them won't be enough.
Yeah.
Zamari gives a little speech. I put this down of like what gives you the right to kill us argument. I was like, really, dude, you're really pulling it out right now. What gives you the right to kill us?
This is war. Talk to Noitra.
Yeah, talk to Neutra, and then he kills him, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't kill you as a Soul Reaper, but because you attacked my pride, Rukia." And I did not care for that. That was just
Yeah.
I
Like I said,
don't
I
I
can't
don't
remember Byakuya's whole character arc at the end of Soul Society, but I do remember not being wholly convinced by it.
because remember we talked about it. We said like there's Byakuya 1 and Byakuya 2.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe Bleach Flames will roast us in the comments or whatever, but I
Maybe
was
like
not.
I could just be forgetting. I feel like I understand where Kubo was coming from with his character arc. I think that there were some like I cannot remember the details. I am such a fake fan. Um, but yeah. But that's
Yeah.
enough about Byakuya and that. It
It
was a
was
fire.
underwhelming, and I'll say that too. Like I'll cap it off by saying that out of all of them, I would say tied with the first half of the Aporo fight.
Uh-huh.
In this section, at least, like everything with the Aporo fight before Kosuchi appears is probably about similar to my feelings with uh Byakuya versus Zamari for different reasons. Like I was just kind of underwhelmed. Like Zamari felt like he had more potential. The control of it, because it's weird. It felt like he was gonna have a speed based technique when he pulled out like the Kwanzai doppelganger. I thought he was gonna like have clones or something. But just to go from that to control felt like a weird leap. If it almost felt like a leap with Aporo going from the room to making clones to then controlling body part like voodoo dolls. It felt like a weird leap.
Yeah.
Because at least with characters like Rimjob, it's like they transform. Like he transformed into like a Panther King and had like extended slashes, like something that still built up from like his character motivation. With that, anyway, let's move on to a slightly better fight, and I say slightly for a couple reasons. Kurosuchi versus Poro.
Yeah.
A lot happened here, and I say a lot because there were a lot of moments of I outsmarted your outsmarting.
There certainly was.
Let me first let me read off what there was. So in their last battle, Kurosuchi somehow, someway, infected Yuryu with a surveillance bacterium, decided to swap out all of his organs with dummy organs and tendons before showing up to fight Aporo. He uses his Bankai. Aporo then gets another technique that allows him to rebirth himself inside of a host body if he's consumed. We see what else is there? Yeah, so Kotosuchi's assistant starts vomiting out another Aporo, and then if he's eaten, um he can just apparently take over whatever eats him. So he just takes over the Juzo Bankai that Kotosuchi has. And then Kotosuchi's like, no, I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen. I can make my statue self destruct. And then that happens. And then he also poisoned his assistant's body just in case of a situation like this that would somehow happen. And then because of this poison, funny Muzan moment, his senses are slowed to the point of like a second is 100 years. That's a lot that happens in that short span of time. That's a lot.
Uh-huh.
Not a huge. I'll be honest. I was not a huge fan of it. Like I get where like thematically, I like it. It's two scientists fighting. You have like his science versus Aporo's. I really loved Kurosuchi's speech on like as a scientist, you saying perfection disgusts me. If we reach perfection, we have no room for growth for science. We want to get as close to perfection as possible, but narrowly miss the mark. You're a failure as a scientist. Fuck you. Live 1,000 years while I walk up to you and try to kill you.
Yeah.
That was
No.
cool. But everything else of just like, like just Bleach is not the type of series that feels like it would have JoJo IQ planning. You know what I mean? It was very jarring
Uh-huh.
to have go from a fight like Byakuya versus Amari to a fight where it's like, oh, yeah, I just in case this happened, just in case this happened. Oh yeah, I have another technique. Oh well, I have this to do. I was not a fan of all that. I
No,
like the
I think that's
section,
fair.
but not a big fan. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I think I enjoyed this more than the previous stuff. Just I mean, it was more interesting. I like Kurosuchi, right? That kind of thing. I will say it is very convenient that Kurosuchi did the exact thing to Uryu that allowed him to survive Aporo's very specific attack. I think Aporo suffers from this fight suffers from 2 more instances of kind of what we saw with Byakuya versus Aigai, which was a power that, oh my gosh, that's kind of broken. And the 2 things is, 1, the little marionette dolls where you can just crush your organs, right? That's a pretty broken power that if Kurosuchi hadn't done what he did, and it's like, okay, cool, right? But like that's an inherently broken power that I think he just had to come up with an idea around, right? And the other thing was, as much as I love the time slowing thing, and I think that that's really cool and pretty funny, and I think it's way more balanced than in another series that you and I have both read, which I will not name because that is big spoilers for the series. That is a bit overpowered as well.
Yeah, but the concept behind it,
and it's like, it's not as bad. I don't think that's ever going to come up again. And if it does, and it's like, yeah, that only worked on him for whatever reason, normally you can overcome it. I would love that if that's the case. I don't expect it to ever come back, so it's just kind of a one-time thing where it's like in the future, like, well, why don't they just use that, right? You know, that kind of thing. So I mean, overall, it was entertaining, right? I was entertained. But in terms of fights, I mean, it can't, in this little section, just can't compare to anything with Noitura, really.
No, and speaking of, well, let me see. Oh yeah, after that fight, he finds Apporo's specimen room and gets like really, really happy. And then Renji's like, Kurosuchi, heal me first. I want to go help Ichigo. And Kurosuchi's like, you fucking buffoon. If you go to try to step in and help, Kenpachi's already fighting. Kenpachi's like a wolf. And when a wolf's like, what did he say? He said it was like a shark bloodlusted with the scent of blood. He, friend or foe, cannot discern. He just fights. And then we get best fight in this section out of it, in my opinion. Kenpachi versus Noitura. What a good fight.
It is
mainly because it's Kenpachi, but
it is. I love me some Kenpachi.
I didn't write too many notes during this section, but because it was basically like, he was fighting Noitura. Noitura goes like his like mantis mode, gets multiple arms, but Kenpachi wins because he's just that dude. And at one point, some highlights I remember are Noitura cuts Kenpachi's eye patch, and he cuts him, and he's like, "Oh damn it, man, I can't control my power." And he's like, "What the fuck?" Because he's like bleeding really bad. And then Kenpachi's like, I never really did this with my sword. Swinging it two-handed is new to me. And he just fucking bodies Noitura. It just feels like every little step Kenpachi made to like, little improvements. Be like, okay, I'm actually gonna try now. Noitura was just, Wahali, I'm finished.
Well, dude, he is so finished. He never stood a chance.
No, he didn't, and it was really fun watching this fight. I'm trying to think of anything else. No, I did not write too many notes here. Like, I'm just going off what I remember.
My favorite part of the fight was whenever he took off his eye patch.
Yeah, that was accidentally, but still, like, that was a really funny moment where Noitura did it, and he's like, huh? Like, why do you have an eye patch on? And Kenpachi's like, damn it, man, I can't regulate my power
this
now.
Sucks, dude. This blows. This is
and then worst. At the end, where he's like, you can't cut me, and then Kenpachi's like, oh, I can cut you. And then...
I would say that maybe the one thing with this fight that I was a little bit meh on was... whenever it was revealed that under Noitura's eye patch was a hole.
Oh, that was
That was maybe the one thing in this fight that I was a bit like, okay, Kubo. Okay, Kubo.
It's just a convenient hole. I didn't remember that until now, but yeah. It was just like, he stabs him in the head, he's like, I did it. And Noitura's like, you utter buffoon. And he pulls off his eye patch.
I don't just not have an eye. I don't have brain matter here.
It's fool. Like, yeah, that should have been like visible or something. I don't know. Maybe like
it's just, I'm not the biggest.
That was a little dumb.
That's like the one thing at the fight where I was like, meh,
It was okay, Kubo. You're getting a little too fancy here. I'm gonna have to ask you to stop. That's basically what I thought. Yeah. I'm trying to look back and see. That's so true. Look back where the fight ended. I'm trying to remember like the full ending of the fight because he goes Joker mode. He goes 6-arm mode, and then then we see Kenpachi actually give a shit and try, and he swings with 2 arms, and then I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, he just hits him again. He falls over and then he dies. It was a good ending to the fight.
Yeah.
Good fight all around. Good fight. Kenpachi's base.
It's no Ichigo versus Rim Job, but it's it's a very solid fight that I thoroughly enjoyed from beginning to end. All of Noitura's stuff I really enjoyed.
Yeah, but yeah, Kenpachi's based. So I think that's why this section gets so much of a pass. Like if Ichigo did the same stuff, it wouldn't have felt as entertaining. But because it's Kenpachi and Kenpachi is just built different, and he's a really fun character to watch. Girl, heal my wounds. Oh, speaking of, Orihime just gets fucking yoinked.
Dude, when doesn't she get yoinked?
Like, well, I'm looking back on the chapter, and he's like, "You gotta go protect that town. Get out of here. You had your fun, girl. Heal my wounds." Yes, sir. He just walks, and then an Arrancar just point blank warps in front of her and goes, "Sorry, personally, I don't like this kind of thing, but I have to borrow you for a while." And then he just disappears with Orihime.
Who was it again?
Some dude. I don't remember his name.
What does he look like?
He has like black scraggly hair. He is like, he kind of looks like Ichigo's dad in a way, where he's like the not goatee, but he's like some hair on his like chin, light hair on his
I don't
chin.
remember him off the top of my head.
You'll see him at some point. He's definitely like one of the stronger Aaron cards. So yeah. Then that's the end of all the fighting, and then we get to build up to the next section.
What?
What? In my notes, I specifically put, after the fight with Kenpachi, I put parentheses, Aizen is so fucking smart. Holy shit.
Bro's
Dude,
a
like,
genius.
I understand now. And all those posts
All
I see,
according to Keikaku.
of all those posts I see of people saying, who's the smartest anime character, and I see this Aizen person show up a lot. Bleach fans, I understand you now. I thought he was pretty smart after setting up the entirety of Soul Society. And just being like, behold, Tozen is my one of my undercover spies. That was a little funny. But just having everything planned out was great. And on top of that, everything that happened in this like Las Noches Huecamundo portion was all planned. Where his plan was to draw in as many people as he could, Ichigo and everyone, some of the captains, and then seal them in there, and then raid Karakura Town, because as far as he knew, everyone withdrew from like the mortal realm, and so there's no one there to stop them from attacking Karakura Town right now.
Yeah. L.
Except he made one mistake. This is a shonen, and other people can have big
darn
brains
it,
too.
we're gonna have our battle arc.
Yeah, we say as we finish a battle arc.
That's so true. Man, I'm so full of battle arcs. Ooh, another one.
So I'm trying to remember his.
Don't mind if I do.
Ooh, another one. Ooh, piece of candy. Aizen's plan is he's trying to create the Oken to destroy Soul Society, right? He has the thing that was hidden inside of Rukia during Soul Society. He needs all the souls of the people in Karakura Town to like blow up Karakura Town, create the Oken, and then just decimate Soul Society. That's what I remember. I could be wrong, but that seems to be his plan.
Yeah.
So, he put him in there, sealed him away. He can start his invasion. But one thing we learned, Kisuke Urahara was given 2 orders once they found out they were going to fight in winter. First, send a couple captains into Huecamundo. Second, pull some big brain shit. I don't know. Prep the other captains to fight in Karakura Town. Because what they did was, these bastards, they made an exact duplicate of Karakura Town, phased out the original Karakura Town outside of this reality, and placed this Karakura Town in reality with all the humans put asleep outside of reality. And so now they're going to fight in the exact replica of the town, and they're going to be able to fight with no consequences because there's no one there and it's not the real town.
I can't wait to see them destroy absolutely everything.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I took screenshots of all this, so let me look back on it. We got some of the lineups of the characters that are about to fight. We see Aizen and I think Jin Ryusai stare each other down. We see all the Arrancars start, their lineup. We get the woman one with like the half boob shirt. That was funny.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm not. What? Did I say something? That's crazy.
So what Aizen says, I'm going to ignore you. So what Aizen says is, if Karakura has been transported to the raccoon guy, we will eliminate you and create the Oken in the Soul Society. It's that simple. Until then, I leave Las Noches in your hands, Okuora, and we see him break out of timeout jail. He gets out of the timeout table now.
Yeah.
That was cool. I love how it was portrayed, where he just reaches a hand out, just walks back through casually, and says, "Yes, sir."
Bro, he's chilling, dude. He's ready. So that's where it ends, right?
It ends with, I think, Ichigo moving toward Okuora.
Yeah, that's right. So this is
That was
obviously
it.
setting
Yeah.
up the next big fight. Well, I think next we get all the captains in Karakura Town, right?
Yeah.
After
captain's
that, the
gonna do
next
some
big
stuff.
Ichigo fight is pretty obviously going to be versus Ulquiorra.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited for this too. I thought I
Dude,
took a
because
picture.
Ulquiorra has been built up better than Byakuya so far. And I love the way that Byakuya was built up pre his fight. I do quite love the way Ulquiorra is. I mean, one of my favorite Bleach moments is the reveal that he was number 4, because it's like, dude, that's sick.
He's like, I could
4?
beat you.
He's 4? Zam.
Moves the sword casually and is like, you're not beating me. Like, if you think that we're this easy to fight, you're surely mistaken.
Yeah, you think I'm 1? Dude, LeMayo. Get ready.
That was a great moment, and I'm very excited to see, because what I feel like is going to happen is Ulquiorra is going to be his next big opponent. Then he's either going to fight number 1, then Aizen, or just like have something happen and he's able to go straight to Aizen and fight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So I really don't know, but I'm very much looking forward, not just to that, I'm also looking forward to the captains fighting in Karakura Town.
That's gonna be cool. Like I like Toshiro. I like Rengiku. I like Genryusai. I was trying to remember a lot of the other captains. The one that fought Chad early on in that.
Yeah.
I didn't take a picture of it. Actually, hey, what am I doing? I have this thing. It's pretty impressive. It's called the Viz app, and it allows me to read this thing called Bleach. And
this is a side tangent, but you still read it on the Viz app?
Yeah.
That is so weird. That is so weird. Because it takes me to the Shonen Jump app.
Weird.
Like, to me, like for me, Viz doesn't offer like Shonen anymore. Like, all the Shonen Jump titles are on the Shonen Jump app, and like that's what the subscription transferred to too. Like, that's so weird.
Okay, so
that's
we have
completely a side tangent.
All right, so we have Soy. Is it her name? Soy Fan. The guy with the hat that met up with Chad earlier. Yeah. We have like the 5th. No, Aizen was 5th. It's like 13th captain. He's like the nice
guy, Ukitake.
Yeah, the kind guy. Genryusai, some assistant to Soifan, I think. We have, who's the Captain 7? Like, just the fox?
Oh, what's his name?
I don't remember.
I know exactly who. What is his name?
Yeah, we have him, Toshiro Rengiku. We have some new guy, it looks like. I don't remember him. He's like a guy with he has like a mustache. Looks like blonde hair.
Mustache, blonde hair. Not off the top.
We'll figure it out.
There's also the Division 4 captain there, I think, right? Is she? Or no, is she not?
I don't think so.
The chick with the weird front braid.
I don't. Do you mean?
She might be in Soul. I think she's in Soul. Not in Soul. I think she's in Hueco Mundo.
You mean the one that showed up to the executioners?
I think so.
Unohana?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Unohana was the one who stopped Chad from getting executed.
That's right.
Man, I wish Chad would do something.
I wish he would too. Next arc is Chad's arc.
Yeah, so on the whole, now that we talked about everything, I like this section. Nothing came quite as close to anything with Ichigo versus Rimjob, but it was still pretty good. It had its lower moments. Nothing. Look. There are some moments in a shonen that when you read it, you go, "This is absolutely dog water." It's happened to us reading Black Clover, Demon Slayer. That's another story. But on the whole, nothing was incredibly offensive to me. There was some stuff I didn't really care for. Stuff I thought was like, "Hey, Kubo, what are you doing here, Kubo? Why'd you turn the stove down a little bit?" But nothing egregiously awful. It was overall pretty good, and I think Kubo's kind of hit his stride with Bleach as to what he wants to do with it right now.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that we're very solidly in the middle of fights, right? Obviously, these fights were of a lower scale than Ichigo versus Rim Job, kind of introducing, okay,
They're
the
still
captains
good.
are here now. But they were solid. They were good. Kenpachi versus Noitoro was really fun. All of Noitoro's stuff was really fun. Getting to see Nell was really fun. There's a lot of very good stuff. And I mean, some stuff that maybe I was a little bit disappointed in, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
same.
didn't dislike it, right? It was all very entertaining. I thoroughly think that this was a very, very solid section that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And then next time we have chapters. This one's a bit shorter. 316. Well, according to the like Viz app, there's oh god, chapter 315.1 through point 9. I'm scared.
It's gonna be interesting.
This has got to be some sort of flashback or something.
I think it is.
And then okay, so it's a bit extended. Yeah, so basically we'll have read, even though we won't get to chapter 350 at this current point, we'll have read about 350 chapters. We'll be on the very teeter totter of the halfway point of Bleach after this, because it's 316 to 340. Arrancar, decisive battle of Karakura.
It'll be fun. It'll be very fun.
So yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I like the section, pretty good. Kubo's competent writer, like his character designs. I like the Bleach fights.
Yeah, it's super solid. Well, if you're this far in the video, obviously there's something you like, so make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us what your favorite part of this section was. That's so true. I am so mature. What your favorite fight of this section was. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.